Nikko Jenkins actually testified from the defense table. He could barely raise his hand to be sworn in.
On July 30th, he crossed racial, gender, and city boundaries to commit his murder.
50 years to run consecutive to all murder convictions.
Imagine a criminal so dangerous that the justice system decided 450 years behind bars was the only remedy. But what unspeakable acts could have warranted such a sentence? What twisted path led to this colossal punishment? Stay tuned to Story Scape as we take a look at the chilling story of one of the most dangerous inmates in the world, a living embodiment of the extremes of criminality. Before we dive into today's video, take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to also hit that notification bell so that you won't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Nikko Jenkins' life has always been troubled, marked by witnessing and experiencing numerous traumas from a young age. His lineage, notorious for wreaking havoc in Omaha for generations, includes 7 close family members who are all felons, including his mother, father, 3 sisters, uncle, and cousin. Despite multiple stints in juvie and mental facilities, Nikko struggled to control himself. At the age of 7, he brought a loaded .25 caliber handgun to his elementary school, and by 11, he stopped attending classes regularly. He got expelled from group homes due to frequent fights, and by the age of 13, he had already experienced stabbing someone. Getting involved with gangs early on, Nikko faced consequences in 2003 at the age of 15 when he was sentenced to prison for 2 armed carjackings.
He's had power over my life for 4 years, and I've struggled for 4 years. He don't get that power today, so no, I don't have anything to say to him.
Despite being behind bars, he continued causing trouble, leading to additional charges for attacking a guard and inciting a prison riot. However, the decision made by the judge altered the course of many lives. Rather than serving those additional sentences consecutively, they were ordered to run concurrently, resulting in no extra time served beyond his initial 10.5 years.
This panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
Fast forward to 2013. Nikko's release didn't lead to reformation. Instead, he embarked on a killing spree. 11 days after his release, Nikko, with assistance from his cousin and sister, shot and killed 2 random people, Juan Pena and Jorge Ruiz. Using his family, the victims were lured to a location where they were both shot in the head and their wallets were stolen. 8 days later, Nikko continued his violent spree by shooting and murdering his old prison buddy, Curtis Bradford. Oddly, just a day before the incident, they had taken a picture together. The motive behind this act was simple. Nikko's sister believed Curtis's friends were responsible for a previous shooting at their house 6 months earlier.
You don't get the glory today. I get the glory. My family gets the glory. God gets the glory. This has been too long. 4 years is a long time.
She says it's time to move on and let go of what Nikko Jenkins did to her family.
In response, the siblings set up a trap, luring Curtis under the guise of robbing someone else, but ultimately orchestrating a hit on him. Days later, Nikko struck again, this time pulling over a random SUV and shooting a woman named Andrea Kruger 4 times.
This time pulling over a random SUV and shooting a woman 4 times. The victim was a mother of 3 by the name of Andrea Kruger.
In another disturbing connection, Nikko's family member, his uncle Warren Levering, was involved. But it doesn't end there because his mother Lori Jenkins also played a role by purchasing the ammo and was aware of everything that happened. Not long after, Nikko was arrested for unrelated terroristic threats charges. At that point, evidence against him had mounted. As investigators connected the dots, they realized that the murders were all linked to Nikko.
I got you. What do you mean you got me? I got your DNA at the murder scene. I got your DNA in the car. Sir. I got the weapon. I got Nikko Jenkins.
Even after being taken off the streets, Nikko's reign of terror continued behind bars. In an 8-hour interrogation, he admitted to all 4 murders, attributing them to a sacrifice for the Egyptian serpent god Apophis. He claimed that the serpent spoke to him and directed his actions. While the courts were trying to pass a death sentence on Nikko, he got his hands on a razor in prison and carved Satan into his forehead. That was not all. He also split his tongue to resemble a snake, and in an ever more disturbing act, he used a guard's badge to mutilate his manhood, attempting to shape it like a serpent. These actions left many questioning his sanity. The judge questioned the prison warden about how Jenkins got the razor in the first place, but the warden stated that he didn't know how. While inmates often smuggle items into prison, the inability to prevent this for someone in 23 hours solitary confinement with frequent checks is surprising. On another occasion, Jenkins managed to grab and swallow a set of 7 handcuff keys. Considering Jenkins' actions, family background, and past, it's tempting to blame the justice and health system.
The death penalty. A ruling today changes the next step in the case of convicted killer Nikko Jenkins. The death penalty is not a sentencing option tonight for the man convicted of killing 4 people in Omaha.
Yet, after evaluations by state psychiatrists, a different view emerged. Despite his barbaric behavior, they believed Nikko was faking his mental problems. They perceived him as cunning, and that he understood that if he was deemed insane or incompetent, he might not face his death penalty and be placed in a psychiatric ward instead. Due to these circumstances, the court cases faced delays, creating a brief period where it seemed Nikko would escape from his ultimate punishment. However, in May 2017, a 3-judge panel had the decisive task. The death penalty hinged on a unanimous agreement from all 3 judges, and finally, they sentenced Jenkins to death, marking the official end of years of terror. Nikko also received a 450-year sentence on weapons charges related to the murders.
Therefore, this panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant. Each one of these murders was a deliberate and planned act. The victims were pre-selected and the murders were purposeful.
On April 20th, 2020, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear his appeal. Sentenced to death and 450 years in prison, Jenkins epitomizes one of the most dangerous criminals in the world. The tale of his brutality, involving the orchestrated murders of innocent individuals with the involvement of his own family, showcases a level of malevolence that shocks the conscience. The judicial system faced challenges in containing Jenkins, from his continued violence behind bars to his unsettling ability to manipulate the legal process. Jenkins' case serves as a stark reminder of the complexities within the justice system and the disturbing depths some individuals can reach. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you're yet to do so. Be sure to always hit that notification bell because we have more stories that you cannot afford to miss on the way. We'll see you in the next video.
I'm ready to go home and heal. That's what I want to do. I'm tired, I'm weary, and I'm ready to go home. I don't never want to see this place here again.